Rave music. What's up, guys? How are you? So early live. Early live by about 60 seconds. What kind of message did you retract? And why are you texting me privately? Unlock the door. That's the text. Be right back, guys. Hang on a second. Okay, there's no one here. You can thank whoever that was for interrupting the live stream. Me running downstairs. Anyway, okay, what's going on, guys? I've got some questions here on YouTube. Haven't had a chance to answer today, so I figured we'd do it live. Hey, Truth Provider, how are you? Chet, good to see you. Chris, don't know what you're talking about. Truth Fighter says audio and video is good. Rave music. Not quite, but it is royalty free, which is hard to get. What's going on, Edwin? Good to see you. Edwin, missed you last night. Some lady had questions about near infrared sauna heat lamp tent temperatures, right? And I know you were commenting on what you were able to get yours up to, but I was curious from somebody that's not myself, what kind of temperature range did you prefer, like when you were using it? Matt is the new Slim Shady. No, these are just cheap undershirts from Costco. And I've been kind of lounging around because I've been recovering from fighting off a cold and just didn't change my shirt. I actually feel pretty good today. My voice is coming back. I actually feel like I could do sauna tonight, but I'm going to give it one more day. I was going to preheat it and hop in there and do the live in there, but I was like, you know what? Let me just let me make sure I'm really rested up. Because once I start again, I'm going to finish the 30 for 30, and then I'll probably do a couple more things to make up for some of the lost time. Truth Provider ghost. There was definitely a ghost. There was no one there. So thank you for nothing. Mr. Tully says, hi, Matt. Thanks for the DIY videos. Bought everything today. Awesome, Mr. Tully. Did you talk to Dan and see if you think that would suffice for your sebaceous sweat for part of the days for your protocol? Just out of curiosity. Hey, Silver Gunner, how are you? Good to see you. Give your body a break. Yeah, I did. If I was just doing my regular stuff and then doing these lives at night, it's really not that big of a deal. Like I don't sauna every day all the time, 7 days a week, but I think it's the other stuff that I was doing. And then I just came back from I didn't really give myself any rest. I just come back from a trip to Maine, looked at a cabin up there to purchase, didn't get it, all that stuff. So doing due diligence for that, traveling, blah, blah, blah. Working, and then I've got all these projects, of course, that I'm working on. Looks like we're good to go for tomorrow. The greens powder, the glutathione boosting supplement should be in here with the sample packs. So thank you to everyone who sent me an email with your address. I did get those. I'll contact you as soon as I have them, and then tomorrow night's live will probably be on that. I'm going to show you how to mix it up, how to make it taste a little better, what it's supposed to do, what you should expect, the do's and don'ts. And then go from there. High point, Edwin says, was 140 degrees. Today, 130 and loads of sweat. You could say a Chris sweat, an ocean sweat. Nice. Yeah, definitely. In my experience, it doesn't really need to be that hot. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but so a lot of people keep asking about the DIY sauna temperature range because I think they're afraid that if it doesn't reach a certain temperature that it won't work for them. But it's really not about the temperature of the air temperature in the cabin, much like a far infrared sauna. So Mr. Tully did talk to Dan. We're going to give it a go. Have a sunlight and sauna scheduled the other 6 days a week. Dan is having a lot of odd things. Dan is Having to do a lot of odd things with this. Yeah, okay. Understood. I'm set to start the protocol on the 14th. Looking forward to it. Cool. Excellent. Good, good. Do you need anything from me to help you get started? I think if you just fast forward in the course to the master part, well, you said you ordered everything, so there's too much info in there, really. I need to condense it down. It shouldn't be that long. It shouldn't be that complicated. So questions for tonight. A lot of folks have questions on buying used saunas lately. So I think the sauna companies having a lack of inventory and all this other stuff going on with distribution is having folks look for used stuff that they can get right now. And so there's all kinds of used saunas that you can buy on the market, right? Some of them are good, some of them are bad. And if any of you guys have questions on used brands, models, if you're looking for stuff like that, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them live. For the most part, I mean, a used sauna, as long as it's not a fire hazard, like one of the ones that went out of business and is no longer around. Some of the common stuff would be like a Keys backyard sauna. Some of the older dynamic or golden design stuff. I'll try it with the door completely open next time and see what happens. Well, in your situation, it's probably gonna be a little different, Edwin, than if they did that in a tent. Because yours is super insulated, it'll probably still work with the door cracked. I don't know about the door completely open, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you can still sweat. It just probably won't be as deep or intense, but good feedback though. And I like you guys being in the chat and giving feedback and helping, because then it's not, some of this stuff is not just coming from me, right? Because I have a particular way that I do things. Not everyone does stuff like that. So it's good for folks to see temperature ranges and feedback from other people. Do you guys have anything? Do you regulars have anything tonight that you'd like to talk about? I talked to David today at Healovations, and there's some interesting things on the horizon with some of the sound therapy stuff. They've got a mattress coming, which is pretty cool. So it's basically the same sound resonators that I've been working on to convert a massage table to a sound healing table, which I just used it again yesterday. And it is working pretty well. There's a couple things about it that I don't like. One of the things is I bought a cheap massage table. So the base under the padding, basically like the plyboard that you lay on that's underneath the padding that forms the cover for the table, is too thin. So it has like a weird resonance to it. So if you give it the wrong frequency, it basically like flops and it vibrates up against something, which is a poor choice for for something like that. But other than that, that stuff is coming along pretty good. I haven't mentioned it in a little while, but I know a few of you were interested in stuff like that. Mr. Tully says, I ordered your binders. There was a cheaper paste binder in the DIY buy list I bought as well. Really? What kind, Mr. Tully? Cheaper paste binder? There's hopefully, are you talking about like a bentonite clay? Because usually the only reason that I try to get people to get capsules is because if you mix bentonite clay or a couple other things, it can get kind of gritty in the teeth. There's nothing wrong with it. It still works well. It's probably a better deal too. No one has anything tonight, or is there a lag in the chat again? No, no one's buying a used sauna. I figured that probably wouldn't be you guys, but I thought you might have some other things that you want to chat about. There is Truth Fighter chat. Who else is in here? Edwin, Chris, Gunnar, Truth Fighter. Oh, Radiant Health called me today. My 2-person sauna is finally ready to be shipped, so that's great news. Ooh, is that coming early, Truth Provider? Because I know it was supposed to be a while, right? Is that earlier than expected, or right on schedule, or late? I mean, I don't. Who knows? But yeah, that's cool. You'd be excited about that. Your extra goodies should be in there too. If not, they'll be in a separate package, by the way. Intro shell. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. That stuff works pretty good. I like it. Not everyone agrees, but let me just Google that really quick. Double check. It says Matt last purchased this item on September 17th or September 27th, 2020. That's the stuff. Cool. Ordered it September 30th. Yeah, okay. That's quite a bit of delay. And usually, man, if everything is in stock and there's no hangups in distribution, Radiant Health will get you a sauna in like a week and a half. It's fast. It's the fastest from any company that I've ever gotten. Chess says exciting news. Yeah, I think you'd be really happy with that. Edwin says, I bought a Restonic bed years ago, and the box spring had a small box in it that provided acoustic massage. It would sweep up and down the full length on a timer. It was effective. Never heard of it. I'm going to Google it, though. That sounds pretty cool. Very cool. Well, these guys, I think, are going to bring that back, and I'm extremely interested. And they're actually working on their EMF conscious, which is, if you think I'm picky about saunas, if anybody were to contribute negatively to your EMF environment, the absolute worst place on the planet would be the bedroom. So fortunately, these guys are EMF conscious, so they are going through that thing with a fine-tooth comb, make sure everything is dialed, and I'm looking forward to testing it out. I think it'll be cool. What's going on, Dan? Good to see you. What kind of party you having? A fire party tonight? You guys at the campfire? Truth Provider, COVID delays was a huge demand. Yeah. Well, the worst thing was back when they had stock and the local deliveries weren't going out because the distribution hubs were shut down because they weren't considered essential. Like, because it's not like UPS, it's the large freight delivery. So we're like, people can wait. Meanwhile, people had spent $5,000 trying to get a sauna and call up the sauna company like, where the hell is this damn thing? And then they're like, their hands are tied, but they're like, I'm so sorry. It's like 3.2 miles from you in a warehouse. We just can't get anybody to bring it to your house. People were like, hey, how about if I show up in my pickup truck? I shouldn't laugh. It sucks to be in that situation. Mr. Tully picked up a tube. I'll try it. Bought you their binders and trying them as well. Cool. I should help. I think you'll like those. Truth Provider, have you ever tried an anti-EMF bed netting? I have one. I've made some stuff like that before out of aluminum screening material to see if it really worked. I have one on order from a company. It's supposed to be a custom size. And they're just waiting on me, I think. Actually, I think I dropped the ball on that. But I have one on order. I want to try it. I'm torn on that because you really don't want to sleep in a Faraday cage, but the only way to get rid of a neighbor's Wi-Fi transmission, if it does reach into your dwelling, is to either shield the room, sleep in a bed net, and just have like a no phones policy basically inside the net, because if you trap something in there, it's just going to bounce around and it would be worse than not having the net. But you really have to ground the net in order for it to, in my testing, you've got to have a grounded Faraday cage, and the under mattress or the under bed like blocking cloth or whatever has to make contact with the sidewalls. Like, there really can't be any penetrations for it to be super effective. So I'm interested to try this stuff. I don't know what I'm going to think. And according to some people's opinions, sleeping in a grounded Faraday cage net can block like some good natural frequencies from the earth. I don't really know how true that is, if it's a concern, if it's a benefit, if it's a whatever. I'm just going to try it myself and then see what happens. I thought about building a 4-poster bed frame out of wood, basically like out of 4x4s or something, so that you could string up all kinds of, oh, you guys are going to have a field day with this, so you could string up all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I walked right into that one, didn't I? Chris isn't here, so maybe it'll slide. No, so that you could string up a bunch of different stuff and test things and actually have a mounting system to create a control environment. Why Truth Provider? Do you sleep in one? Are you interested in one? Are you in a place where your own or a neighbor's RF transmissions, because that's really what that's for. I should have talked about that too. Yeah, there you go. I knew you were just going to get me with that. Will it involve ropes? I walked right into that one too. I stopped too. I started to say, so you could test a bunch of different contraptions, and then I caught myself. I was like, oh, the boys are going to have a field day with this. There's one thing that I found that's negative in my testing of bed canopies, and this was a homegrown one. I don't know if the silver fabric is going to be the same. There's two negatives that I've found, one from research, one from my own testing. The first one is potential VOCs or breathing in stuff. If it's like the nylon stuff, but if it's the nylon material with the silver in it, apparently it off gases or something. I don't know if you can just take it out and put it in the sun for a couple days and it will dissipate, or if it's really an issue, or if that feedback was just from a group of people that is really sensitive to certain stuff. Other people said that it's not an issue at all, so I'm gonna give it a go. The other thing that I found is that if there are electric fields in the room from your AC wiring and the tent is too close to it to where it picks up the fields or it's not grounded, you can essentially make the electric fields hop onto the cage, and then you kind of have like an electric field emission cage, which would not be so good. I'm pretty sure there's a way that you could ground that out and get it to dissipate, but the one thing that I want to make sure of is that body voltage does not go up when using a Faraday cage, because that would be counterproductive 100%. If that's the case, I will not use one long term. But there's ways to fix that. I just don't know what it's going to take to fix it. Live in a high rise with lots of Wi-Fi signals. Oh yeah, probably a good idea for you to test, or I'll know actually with the one that I have coming. That's actually what got me interested in those too, by the way. It's because I lived in a high rise downtown. There was Wi-Fi everywhere. Silver Gunner, do you know of any problems? Oh, I skipped something. Jeff says, I left Radiant Health a message last Tuesday and they never got back to me. Have you had a problem with their service? Interested in buying their 4-person sauna? Jeff, did you leave a good callback number? I mean, obviously, I'm sure that you did. If you want, just send me an email. Go to cleverleverage.com, or actually, I'm on the computer. Yes, this is so easy. I forgot what it's like to do a live stream. I forgot what it's like to do a live stream where you can actually paste links in the chat. Just hit that contact form there and send me a private email. I'll get you taken care of. Sometimes, they get really busy and stuff slips through the cracks, or something gets messed up with the voicemail and they don't have a way to call you back or match up your name to the caller ID or something if they can't hear the number. Well, it involves ropes. I already read that, didn't I? Do you know of any problem using fir wood in saunas? Ordered my sauna in fir. Don't know if that was good or not. Don't know anything about the wood. The only other choice was cedar. Silver Gunner, who makes saunas out of fir? I've never heard that before, ever. But I cut down fir trees to build stuff with in Maine all the time. There's nothing wrong with the lumber, as long as it's a good quality, right? Like if it's crap wood, it's gonna be crap wood no matter what type it is. Jeff was at the Vancouver Houston office at Chet dealing with the cops. Got pulled for speeding. No tickets, thank God. Okay. Chris is getting the real life handcuffs tonight. Maybe we'll take we'll get somebody to take a picture of him and we'll put it in the chat. No, hopefully everything's good. I don't know if you guys are messing around, if you're serious. Just says yes. Chris, tell him you have the COVID. That's great. That's perfect. Chris, tell him you have COVID. Where is the contact number? I don't know what you mean, Jeff. You're talking about for me? It's a contact form. So it's a way for you to send me like a secure email. So you can put your name, your email address, and then what your message is, and then it goes directly to me. All right, now where were we? We were talking about something for you guys. We were talking about, oh yeah. The bed net. Any other questions, guys? No one wants to buy a used sauna in here? I thought there was somebody had portable sauna questions like crazy the last couple of times There was somebody on YouTube that asked about purchasing used saunas. Just didn't want to get one that was like too old or pay too much money for it. SONE? I don't know what you mean, Chet. Is that autocorrect? General rule of thumb is to not pay more than $1,000 for a sauna that's like 8 years old. But for the most part, most of the used saunas that I buy cost me about $800. That's about the average that I'm able to negotiate for them, except for some special ones. What's up, dude?
I wasn't joking.
Oh, everything good?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Thoughts on water filtration. Been talking to David about it from Heal Elevations. A necessity if you live in certain municipalities, Michael. Depends on where you live. Like when I'm up in Maine, there's an artesian well there. There's some stuff in the water that I shouldn't drink long term, but I'm never there for too long. Not a huge deal. When I'm in Orlando, the city municipality definitely puts things in the water that would be better if they're not there. So filtration is definitely a good idea, especially if doing sauna detox protocols and things like that. Something to be mindful of. Some people go really, really crazy with this. I used to boil distilled water every night when I went to bed. But now I would probably opt for something like a gravity-fed Berkey or an under-counter system like I have downstairs that I'm going to install. Sorry, someone posted Clear Light and Radiant at the end of the chat last night. I know you have addressed it in other videos. They had questions. Oh. Okay. Do you want me to, are you saying I should go and grab those or try to find them really quick, Chet? Let me see if I can do that. Just give me 2 seconds. Hopefully the the typing isn't too loud for comparing the microphone. Let me fast forward to the end here and look at the chat. Chat, I'm not seeing anything. I don't see anything at all, actually. Someone posted about Clear Light and Radiant at the end of the chat last night. You've addressed it in other videos. They had questions. Huh, I'm not seeing them. If maybe I'm just missing it. You're comparing heat intensity. Nah, nothing like hearing yourself talk on a feedback loop. Where'd we go? Yeah, I don't see anything. The last thing was about the Therasage and then a couple other things. I would think a used sauna with carbon panels would last longer than ceramic heaters. It may burn out sooner. I would tend to agree. It depends on what they are, but except for some of the older, like Sunlighten used to be called Sunlight. Some of those were a little, the grills and stuff in front of them disintegrate a little bit. What's your diet entail for you personally while doing a sauna detox? While doing a sauna detox program, pretty strict. In the past, I would do stuff like limit certain solid foods for a portion of the day and try to do juices and things like that in the morning. But I would also not skip like eggs and other stuff like that for the choline. But that's just for me. I think a good rule of thumb is, I wouldn't, that's a hard question to answer. What kind of sauna detox, first of all, because you don't want to restrict calories too much or change what your body is used to getting for energy. If you're doing like a really intense sauna detox, because you're going to need that fuel. I also wouldn't be eating McDonald's every single night and having, soda pop and McFlurries or whatever. But I mean, all of us kind of already know what we should be doing. Like everyone instinctually knows, okay, no processed foods, try to make your own stuff so you can control the ingredients, do portion control. And if you can, monitor the calories and make sure you're getting a balance of carbs, fat, and protein throughout the days so that your energy is balanced, so that your recovery rate is not impaired. A lot of people try to do sauna detoxes they're thinking that it's kind of like a cleanse where they're going to lose weight in a short amount of time. And they're also going to do calorie restriction and do all this other stuff. If you're talking about doing an intense sauna detox, I would disagree with trying to combine those two things, because as you're trying to get toxins out, you need to refuel. Eggs are good for choline, vitamin D, etc. Tooth writer typically sticks to a paleo type diet. Yeah, that would work fine. As long as you're not talking about going keto. So if you do zero carb and then you tax your adrenals and then you pretty much tax your entire energetic system, like if you're doing a 30-day detox, it's most likely not going to end well. Some people try to even do like fasted or liquiditarian stuff, but they've never done that before. It's going to kind of be a shock to the system. Typically speak to, oh no, on keto. Okay. Dan says, great response to Michael. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sure people on your protocol, Dan, would suffer greatly if they tried to skimp on certain nutrients while doing something like that. Probably not going to end too well. No on keto. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, for some people, they just go hardcore, never done intermittent fasting before, never done keto. And then all of a sudden, hey, let's do a sauna detox. And then let's also restrict all carbs and then, do this intermittent fasting schedule. And it's just like a complete shock to the entire body, nervous system, physiology. If you do intense work, your brain won't have enough energy. Like you need time to adapt to that stuff. And the time to learn how to do that or experiment with it is not while starting a sauna detox program or protocol, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, not medical advice. If you need medical advice, please see a licensed medical physician. I think a keto diet would knock me down. I mean, it's good for some things. I've done keto before, but I'm a person that thrives on, my ideal breakfast is like steak and eggs and potatoes. So I can eat steak and eggs a few times a day in large portions, and I do pretty well. But my body also does well on, different types of like lean carb meals too, like light carbs or slow carbs. What was the other thing that I missed here? Chet, I didn't figure out what you meant there, bud. Sorry, someone posted about clear light and radiant at the end of the chat last night. Maybe you've addressed it in other videos. They had questions. I couldn't find it. If it's something that you know about, if you just tell me what it is, happy to look for it or see if I can copy and paste it or something like that. What's the longest stretch you went using the sauna? Like with 0 breaks? Well, I don't usually do anything anymore with 0 breaks, but I would say about 35 to 40 days, but 6 days a week. Yeah, I don't generally like, even though I was doing the 30 for 30 thing, there was a few days in there that I was cheating, right? Like the sauna wasn't that hot. I didn't preheat it. It wasn't that intense. I usually take a day off, even if I'm doing some type of a protocol. I think that's good for balance, but about 35, 38, 40 days. I've done that a couple times, a little over 30 because I skip a few here and there. Kind of like I'm doing now, right? Like I could have restarted the 30 for 30 tonight. And I feel like I feel good enough and have the energy today to get back in the sauna, but I just want to wait one more day. I still feel a little congested, and getting in the sauna might actually help now that I'm sort of recuperated, but I just don't want to push it. Chet, are you day for day for the 30 for 30, by the way? So what would that put us on? Are you day 23 right now in a row? If so, that's incredible. How you feeling? Truth Writer says, I went crazy in the beginning. I do 7 days a week for many weeks at a time, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. I agree. It's one thing if you're like retired and you don't have to work and you don't have to do other stuff. But if you're working a full-time job, if you've got hobbies or side projects, or you have a family and you're saunaing 7 days a week for weeks on end, it's one thing to do it for a detox protocol, but it's another thing to continue to do that. And eventually it catches up with you a little bit, in my experience. But it doesn't mean that people aren't built for it or that you can't do it. Of course, no issue, but long term, it wouldn't be a recommendation. Mr. Tully, I have an idea to add to your DIY sauna. Standalone activated carbon filter. You can build one for $80. fan and a grow house carbon filter. This could run in the corner and make sure any VOCs are filtered out. Cool. I'm happy to take a look at what your idea is, Mr. Tully. If it's easy for people to do, I can even add it to the course. Right now we're doing, I'm not having them do that. We're using the bags. I don't know where they are though. So we're doing charcoal blocks or bricks, or we're doing like the Moso bags where it's a quilted porous fabric around the charcoal blocks. But if it would be more effective and you could do airflow with a filter and they've already got the power strip in there and it's not hard to wire up, I'll definitely run with that. You want to send me the details on what you were thinking and I'll either order the stuff and test it out or see what you have in yours. Chet says, yes, I went every day. Feel great. Awesome. That's excellent. So Chet, you just recently upped the temperature, right? Because you said you were, I think the temperature caught up to you the other day when you were really kicking it. I find that for me, if I'm going to sauna all the time like that, somewhere in the 130s, right? Like somewhere between 133 and about 138, 139 is a great temperature to where I don't super tax myself every day, but I maintain a great sweat throughout the whole thing. The preheat time is pretty low and it's generally like an all around deal. Like if I, kind of like you did the other day, if I want to hit it hard, kick it up into the 140s, but it's not necessary. In fact, some people sweat great at like 128, 130, which is, incredible. Susan says, what was the longest amount of time, minutes without a break you have done? Oh my gosh, Susan, in a sauna? In an infrared sauna? Look, it's been a couple hours, over 2 hours, but I wouldn't really recommend that without any breaks. It's not necessary. And if you think about it in terms of like hyperthermia with no breaks, where is the point of diminishing returns, right? So being He-Man and trying to get the most out of it and do the most and tolerate the most and all that kind of stuff will only get you so far. So sometimes less is more. Back down to 135-ish. 140 makes me really wore out. Yeah, it can. But Chet, as you continue to do that though, your heat tolerance will build. So 6 months from now, that might be different, right? It also could change. Chris says I sweat great during the preheat. That was good. Mr. Tully says the bags are great. I did buy the ones you had on your list from the course. Small filter would guarantee the safety. Also, it is a good thing to review for everyone's house city living. You got me. I'm in, Mr. Tully. That could be a Mr. Tully exclusive. But no, if it's easy for people to do, I'm happy to add it and everything else. If you want, just shoot me an email and let me know exactly what you were thinking so that I can make sure it's easy for folks to just like plug and play. Because if it's, we had a lot of good ideas that we could do for the DIY sauna, right? But when you start getting into drilling holes in the frame and bolting stuff together and doing anything that requires tools or a jigsaw or cutting anything, it tends to not work for everyone. So as long as we can keep it simple, I think that would be an awesome addition. Thank you very much for the idea. I really appreciate it. I tend to sweat at 135. Oh, I don't tend to sweat at 135 degrees. Susan, what kind of sauna are you in? When you say 135 degrees, what size is it? Like how big is it? And what is it? Is it a regular sauna? Is it an infrared? Is it like a 4 or 5 person? Is it a small one? What are we talking about? Michael says, did you shower first? A good tea too, Kawhi says. Kawhi, am I pronouncing your name right? I got the panda part, but I didn't want to just call you Panda. Michael says, Susan, sorry. Maybe, did somebody delete a comment in there? I'm lost. I was that He-Man. I learned the word moderation. Yeah, it will. It will definitely. It'll definitely get you, sneak up on you. But after a couple of years of regular sauna use, right? It's like doing anything else, any kind of exercise, working out, running, lifting weights, anything. You build you get accustomed to it and your body strengthens. Maybe I should say it takes a really long time for me to sweat at 135 if I go in feeling cold. Dry sauna, large 10 person. Oh, okay. That makes total sense. Yeah, you're not going to sweat at 135, Susan. Because the way a traditional sauna works is the air temperature is causing your core temperature to increase. It's just not enough of a shock to the system. It'd take forever. If you're talking about an infrared, though, it's what we're all talking about up further in the chat. It's a little different story. The air temperature doesn't necessarily make a difference. Let's see. Hi, CC. Good to see you. Susan says 165 to 175 is what the what? Howdy, CC. I know about the activated charcoal bags, but a friend of mine told me there is also charcoal blankets. I never heard of that. Chet, you guys have some, or not Chet, Truth Provider. I'm getting you guys mixed up. The I know you guys have some funny ideas about what to do in the saunas, but wearing a blanket in the sauna is probably not on my short list of things to try. Jennifer says, I just joined. What are we talking about? Jennifer, we're talking about used saunas. We're talking about detox. We're talking about sauna temperature. We're talking about traditional versus infrared. What do you want to talk about, Jennifer? Jim keeps it at 165, 175. Yeah, I mean, that's the tipping point, right? A traditional sauna like that's got to be 180 degrees. I mean, you could even take it up to 200 and then you'll sweat much quicker because there's a diminishing effect with the, everybody has this misconception. The people in here that are saying they sweat good at 135, they're talking about an infrared sauna where infrared is saturating your body in far infrared heat. And it doesn't take a high temperature to excite the water molecules under your skin and cause your core temperature to rise and induce hyperthermia. In a gym sauna that's traditional and it's either steam or dry electric heat, the air temperature is slowly rising to 180 to 200 degrees. And that in turn is heating up your body from the outside in, just at a slower capacity. So it takes more energy at a higher temp for a longer duration normally if it's not preheated to get you to perspire in the way that you're looking for. Jennifer says, oh, that's all right, Jennifer. I'm just giving you a hard time. What's your interest in saunas, Jennifer, or detox or any type of health stuff? That's pretty much what tonight's live stream is about. I'm supposed to be doing day 23 or 4 of 30 for 30 sauna challenge, but I'm taking a break. Just fighting off a cold, so I'm just taking it easy for a day or two. Edwin says, Matt, I emailed Restonic. Not sure if they would still offer add-on massage option. I've got it in my tabs to look it up. I don't want to do it while we're on the live chat, Edwin, but I'll take a look at it afterwards. I don't really know exactly what you mean. I haven't seen it before. Didn't hear about it. Susan says it's always preheated at the gym. Okay, I don't understand what you mean, Susan. If it's always preheated to 165, 175, how come you were saying that you don't sweat at 135? Are you saying you get in there and then turn the temperature down? Or I'm just confused. Chet says, how does one do the detox protocol for someone who can't swallow pills? Chet, I mean, you should have the answer to this. I mean, you guys should know this. Step 1, place them in handcuffs. Step 2, get a tall glass of water. Step 3, make them swallow the pills. Just make sure you take your badge off before any of this happens, right? I'm just kidding. True Fighter, I think of myself as being a giant pork roast when I'm in the sauna dripping away toxic fat. It's a good way to look at it. At least you're not like rotating like a rotisserie. Jennifer says, I'm not a huge sauna fan, so I'm just kind of confused. Just messing with you, Jennifer. We're doing a live stream in place of a normal sauna live stream where I get in a sauna and I sweat and we turn the camera on and people make fun of me and we have a good time. But on the back burner, we're educating folks about natural health improvement protocols, talking about product reviews, different processes and lifestyles that we all live, diet, different things like that. If there's anything you want to chime in on, just go ahead and throw it in the live chat. We'd be happy to either answer your questions, comment, joke around. There's other people in here that are super knowledgeable too, so glad to see you. Dan says, Chet, we need to talk. Chris says, don't tase me, bro. Chet, maybe take powders instead of pills. Yeah, I mean, if you can't order stuff in in capsules, you can always break them open and make a liquiditarian version. Be a little bit more time consuming, but you can still get the ratios right, and you won't lose much. Even some of the like the lecithin stuff, you could still measure that out and still do it. But the handcuffs would be a lot faster. Just make them swallow the pills, man. Hey, this was you guys. You guys were doing this to me the other day when I was in the sauna. So, Jennifer, I see that's very interesting, but I need to go. Have a good rest of your night. Just wanted to see what's going on. Okay. Good night. Chet made me take. You guys are hilarious. Like forced blood draws. Well, yeah, similar. We're going on 41 minutes now, guys. Anybody have any other questions or contributions they want to cover tonight? I'm probably going to go ahead and log off tomorrow. I'm thinking tomorrow I'll be back in the sauna, or either that. I really want to try. One of the portables. I think because this is actually a standing desk and it has a crank. It's adjustable. I think I can actually raise this stuff up and mount the camera to the desktop and then get it over the edge of the portable so where it's close enough, and then everything will still work. And then I'll be in a portable sauna. The only issue is you won't really be able to tell if anything is happening. So it might be a complete bust. But everyone's wanted to see me zipped up with the horse hat on, so we're going to do it. Dan will reach out tomorrow. Smooth natural lumber options are rustic fir, rustic cedar, and clear cedar. We only use the highest. We use the highest quality stainless steel, timber glass. Yeah, silver. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're worried about, but the fir is fine. I'm not sure why that would be a concern, but Cece says try portable sauna, please. Portable. Susan says, sorry, when in dry saunas at other places with lower temps, I don't sweat, and it takes a while. Sometimes I start sweating at higher temps, maybe dehydrated. In infrared, 20 minutes, 135, don't sweat. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have trouble with that. If it's your first few times ever trying a sauna, maybe you're just not ready for it. You could have like some type of health stuff going on that prevents you from sweating. If you do other exercises at the gym, do you sweat fine, or is it just in the sauna, or is this kind of across the board? You could try the trick that we usually have people do, which is to put their feet. I mean, you kind of have to be at home to do this, but I suppose you could figure it out in the gym locker room. But you sit down while the sauna is preheating. You sit down and put your feet in hot water for 5 minutes, and it kind of primes your body, tells your nervous system that, hey, we're heating up, and then go in the sauna and see if that cuts your time in half. Silver Gunner allergies? I don't think it would be an issue, Silver Gunner. Do you have some type of allergic reaction to certain types of lumber, or chemically sensitive to a certain oil? Oh, okay. Been in saunas where I could not stop squeezing. Man, that's hard for me to answer, you know? I've been in saunas too that really bother me. Actually, a really strong basswood will do it. It definitely gives me a hard time. Let's see. Is there a good return policy though, Silver? Like if it gives you a hard time, can you just send it back? That would probably be the best thing, because, you know, to me, the fir wood is fine, no issue. But, you know, I'm not you, so I would hate to. Just a thought here: 2 guys, 1 portable sauna. Yeah, I don't think so, pal. That's a little too tight, close quarters for me. Plus, it'll look like we're some type of alien with 2 heads coming out the top. Low sweater in general. Yeah, I would try that. I would try that trick, Susan. Otherwise, probably consistency and repetitiveness to build up to better sweating would be my suggestion. Unless there's some type of health complications going on that cause you not to sweat well. Paul says, just logged on. You're sounding better today. I sweat more in infrared than I think. Everyone's physiology is different. Agreed. Yes, I do sound better. Thank you very much. Feeling much better. Was going to be in the sauna tonight, but don't want to push it. And I agree with you on the infrared. Silver, been in saunas. Stop sneezing. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Tully, I'll be on the lookout for your email. Thank you. Chris, that would be a squeeze. Chris, it's not Halloween. You guys. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and log off. We'll see you guys tomorrow. If I'll look for those comments too. If people had sauna questions and I couldn't find them, Chet, I'll figure out where they were and just copy and paste them. Good to see you guys. We'll catch you in tomorrow's live stream.